What is going on, everybody? Better late than never is what I always say, man. So let's get right into it. In 3, 2, 1, let's jam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One dream, one wish, nada over the top. Yo, man, I just want to quickly apologize because I know that this one is coming out much later than usual, even though when it comes to the episodes, I normally tend to cover them on a much later date. But for this one in particular, man, I've just been so absorbed in Yumi Neko that I'm like, Flagnards. When I'm actually giving time to YouTube, it's for the daily series that I'm doing this month. 25 days of Santa Recon. And so the past like 3 days, I've been like, dude, I want to watch the episode. And on the other hand, I'm like, but I only have this amount of time, and I need to dedicate it to the daily series if I want to keep this a daily series. And then I'm like, but man, every single day I at least need to get some sort of Yumi Neko. I'm not going a single day without experiencing Yumi Neko, dog. So it's been insane. And I know it's a selfish thing, but whenever you're going on an adventure as amazing as that one, you have to like put aside some time for it, man. So that's why I haven't been able to do this one yet. But I'm really excited, man. I'm excited to see how this episode goes. I'm pretty sure I know exactly where this episode ends, just based on hearing people talk about it and discuss it. I haven't seen any of the scenes yet. I've seen a few pictures of like the impact frames of the blast breath, but aside from that, I haven't seen any actual visual moving scenes. So we'll see how that goes. I just wonder if this episode ends with 922's ending. We'll see. Yo, that Shujinmaru and Jack scene last week was really well done. I rewatched that a few times. Just the really cool sword sequences back and back, ching 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 ching, and this stuff right here. I mean, I was like, yo, it looks great. Just the way everything flowed together. But this Kaido scene stole the show, man. I rewatched this on every possible platform I can watch it on, man. Watched it on my phone. I watched it on my Xbox. I watched it on my computer. And throughout the week, I just rewatched the final like 6 minutes of that episode so many times. Just so good, man. He just looks so beast, dude. What is the title? Everyone is annihilated. Kaido's furious blast. Okay. Just look at him. Look at Slifer, bro. Yeah, I'm stressing hard, man. I mean, yo, Kaido is out here with his scales taking over. I mean, who wouldn't be shook at this? I mean, just the revelation that Kaido is a dragon is enough to shake anyone to their boots. But the fact that he's there in front of them. Look at that. Look at how huge he is, bro. He's Shenron, and this guy is like a combination of Shenron, Perunga, the Blue Eyes, and Slifer, dog. It's insane. And then you're like Aku from Samurai Jack, and you put it all into one. That's Kaido, and Brock Lesnar, of course. Just look at him. Put this up a little bit. Bro, just look at him, bro. And the crazy thing about it is just knowing how far they are from where Kaido currently is, right in front of Jack and Ashura. So it's like flipping flag nards. That's how you can tell. That's how the sense of scale can tell you just how huge Kaido really is. Bakura Town. Yo, Hold'em is shook, bro. Hey, this man said, yo, he's coming to me. He's gonna come execute me. That was a funny line. Speaking of Yu-Gi-Oh, comes the Duel Master himself. Just look at the size, dude. Sudu shook. It's fitting that he's right in front of a dragon gate like that. Law's like, don't blame me, blame the Straw Hat. It's his fault. Exactly, Chopper knows. Chopper knows. Not just the captain. It was those two up there. Zoro on one end, Luffy on the other. First thing Zoro did was get in trouble. Same thing for Luffy. Bro, look at King! Green. That scene was so amazing, man. That really is what started all of this. Great. Yo, the final parts that Luffy and Dofi, well, I mean, just in general, in the anime, they really, really did some really well put together and executed fighting scenes for that battle. That's the king, dog! A plan still working in One Piece isn't a plan. It's not a plan. There is no plan that's ever gone correctly in this series. Bro, just look at the way look at him. Bro, just look at this sheer size. You see the pissed off Luffy, bro. Pissed off Luffy is top 1, man. Kadoom! It's like, Law didn't have to do that. He just did it to show off. He's like, Shambles. I'm gonna end this off on a cool line. I'm out. What a flag nerd. Bro, I'm still stressing the scales, bro. Just look at the sheer size of them, Skip. Oh, I thought my camera fell. Yeah, the sound effect when he moves is dope. Reminds me of Dragon Ball. No pun intended. Bro, look at this size on top. He comes out with his chin. You know that they've been waiting to do this for so long. Just based on the opening. Like, we can't wait to get to Dragon Kaido. But look at him. Look at the mustache. Bro, look at his face. And it shows the flashback to back in the day. Hey, drunk Kaido, man. Everybody's like, Hiku? Hold on, coach. Bro, my man's burped, and it changed the landscape. Yo, dude's burped, and it sent him, and it sent my guy flying at least a few meters, bro. That was the strongest burp of all time, coach, as far as I'm concerned. Sweet flagnards. It's a bad idea, Skip. What a dangerous situation whenever you have a massive drunk dragon in the air. Just going all around. I keep thinking my camera's gonna fall. I blame previous experiences with Kaido. You know, with any Yonko. Usually when a Yonko's on screen, my camera's falling to the ground, so... She's faithful, dog. 20 years. what you call loyal. Comes Law showing off again. The Chambers. Hey, and Luffy 100% believes himself whenever he says that. That's the king's mentality. It's like, yo, Kaido's on the way? I'm just gonna have to stop him myself. That's it. Look at that, bro. You can even see it in the reflection off of the puddle. Here comes Hawkins with his dual disc. Supreme Commander Kaido. Man, just talking to him like he's Darth Vader. He might as well be. Man, snitching. Then he redirects Kaido's gaze over towards them. You were being factual. He was being factual. Brooke is insane. Somebody drilling again? I apologize if you hear drilling. Alright, Kaido, I feel it. I feel it. Yo, you even get to see it through his eyes, bro. That was a really nice shot. That was a nice shot. I love how Law and Luffy look in the newspaper. You know? And then Kaido, you just see him coming in at full speed. He's like, Beppo's like, yo, is he coming towards us? Who wouldn't be shook? Who wouldn't be shook, bro? Luffy look over to the side and like, dog, this man is closer to us than we think. Look, bro, the sheer wind of him just rising up into the air. The wind pressure. Man's in the Speed Force. Here we go. Is it what I'm waiting to see? You get it close up into his eyes, just look at them. Opens his mouth. Man's about to hit him with the white lightning, son. You have Kaido as a Pokemon. This would be like a flaming hyper beam, or whatever the strongest beam is in Pokemon. This is exactly what that would be, Coach. Look at it. Just look at that. It's like he's formulating the sun in his mouth. Man's inspiring the supernova from Final Fantasy VII. Blast breath. And here we go. Bro, look at that thing! Yo, if that thing comes towards me, I already think it's over. I'm like, son, it's over! That's the shot that I saw. Was the Nami shot. Oh, man, dude. Yeah, that looks fantastic. My goodness, dude. And it's still going. That thing went all the way past there. Look at the shit, bro. Exactly. Bro. And the manga, it stopped at a certain point. Yo, this thing is gonna keep going. On some DBZ stuff. Sweet Aunt Jemima, bro. This man real deal fired a supernova Kamehameha out of his mouth. Bro, this man wiped off the top of that mountain from existence. From existence, Coach. You'll only find that thing in the null void. Listen to this music. If this isn't a despair theme, I don't know what is. Are we gonna get it? Oh shit! Of course. Of course! It was gonna show Luke. Bro, look at the elephant here! So they're gonna dedicate time to actually showing him get there. Okay, that'll be a lot of fun. So I had a feeling they were only gonna get this far just because I didn't see panels of frames or screenshots of floating around of the final page from chapter 122, which is the thing that sticks out to me the most, right? So because I did not see that shot floating around, which to me would have been like the main thumbnail and or thing that you would see on every single possible thing. I was like, okay, maybe they didn't get all the way to that. So, but not only did they not get to that, it looks like they're gonna take their time and show how it is that he gets there, which is gonna be fascinating because Toei is taking full advantage of the fact that it is not in book form. You see, what made that chapter so special to us was the page turning effect. It was a real page turner, this chapter. But instead is in anime form, they're gonna take full advantage of showing the steps that it took to get there. So I'm fascinated on seeing how they're gonna handle next week, episode, and if that means that it's going to be extended into the following week, because I highly doubt, with the way this arc has been paced so far, that they're going to cover all of 923 next week. It would not be surprised. I would not surprise me if we get half of 923 next week and then the other half the week after, which means we would get 924 after that. And then I believe I was told there was a break this month too after one of the episodes. I'm not sure if it's after next episode or the episode after. I'm going to assume it's the episode after, just because that one's around New Year's, right? The episode after this episode, 913, 914 comes out this week. And I believe that'll be the 15th. And the 22nd will be 915. And then the 29th will be 916. So I'm going to assume that it's going to be between the that one and the other, because I highly doubt they're going to release an episode on New Year's. They almost never do. So I think it'll be after 215 we go on that break. But so this episode, it didn't even feel like it was that stretched out, and they really did only show, I believe it was like 17 pages or 16 pages from chapter 922. And yet, just having the focus so much on Kaido and seeing the sense of scale and just how huge he is, and having everybody react to that, and seeing certain sequences in that way, and seeing how certain characters got into certain points and really extending that, I felt that it just flowed very naturally. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they're going to handle next week's episode, just based on the fact they're going to take that very same route into next week. So that'll be, or I should say, into this week's episode. This week's episode, I'm watching that the moment it comes out. I have to, bro. The side protection, even though I don't think that's next week, but regardless, the end of this chapter, whenever I was in the manga, is one of my. I marked out so hard, man. I was reminded why a certain individual is my favorite character in the series, and I was like, dude. So I cannot wait to see that scene, and just based on what we saw in the preview, it's going to be a marvelous scene, man, and I cannot wait to see how that's handled. Just the title. Can you imagine somebody who's an anime only reading the title to next week's episode, bro? Insanity. It's like whenever we read the title of chapter 123, I was so shook. But, dude, really, you know what? It was a good, awesome episode this week, and maybe it's because I'm biased towards the Emperors. Like, I'm pretty sure all of us are biased towards the Emperors, but, just having Kaido in an episode and truly, getting that new sound effect, really nice visuals, really really nice close-ups into seeing Kaido and just a drunk Kaido going around and trolling, and it made for some really fun stuff. So, I definitely believe that next week, or this week and next week, it's gonna be I just wonder how it is you're gonna do it, because we know this the Toei, we know they can stretch stuff out. My thing is, with this particular moment, I wonder how far to those extents are they willing to stretch this out, knowing what we know of what takes place. They have to be careful with certain parts, man. But I have faith in them, because this entire arc has been so fire so far. And honestly, not even just this entire arc, for quite a few years, they've been on fire. Ever since the beginning of Whole Cake, it's just in consistent greatness in anime form. So I have full faith that they're going to pull this off. And I know how much they've been hyping it up in the interviews, of how they've been looking forward to getting to this part. So I have full faith that they're going to pull this off. With next week's episode and possibly the week after, and we'll see what happens there. But I hope it has an awesome day, man. Take care. One Piece greatness. I will see you all this Saturday. I will definitely be early for the next one, just because how can I not be, bro? How can I not be, son? That's going to be a really, really fun one with so many. I can already tell that next week's episode is going to be one of those episodes not only that I rewatch a lot, but that I screenshot a lot, just based on how incredible it looks from a visual standpoint. So I'm super looking forward to that, man. But let me know what y'all thought about this week's episode in the comment section down below, and how hyped are you for the next installment of the anime greatness, man. So this week, not only will we have a legendary chapter, I'm assuming, just based on how things are going, but we're also going to have an awesome sauce of an episode, man. So that's really exciting. It seems like it's going to be a great weekend for One Piece fans all around, as a lot of weekends have been this year. But I'm super stoked, man. Over it is an awesome day, man. Take care. One Piece greatness, and I'll see y'all on Saturday.